Miscarriage can be so devastating, and when it happens, it comes with lots of different emotions. There's an increasing rate of miscarriage among women of childbearing age. Hi, lovelies. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Cynthia Okolie. If this is your first time seeing my face, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I promise you're going to love it here. So on today's video, I'll be sharing my personal experience on how I managed to cope after having a miscarriage. I had a miscarriage some few months ago, not too long to be fair, and it was really devastating. I cried every day. But at some point, I had to tell myself, babe, you just have to come out of this. So I'll be sharing my personal tips, which actually did work for me. So after having a miscarriage, there are lots of different emotions and reactions. People react to it differently. There's a feeling of guilt, there's a feeling of withdrawal, isolation, depression, grief, and loads of it. But there are also different coping mechanisms one could apply to come out of the present situation and hope for a better future. So I'll be sharing some of these few tips that actually did work for me. The first thing I'm going to say to moms, to dads, it's not your fault. You tried everything possible you could do, but it still happened. So don't blame yourself at all. It's all right for you to grieve. It's all right for you to cry if that's going to make you feel better. But there's no point blaming yourself. It's not your fault. It just happened. So we just have to try as much as we can to come out of the situation. So the first tip I would be sharing today is give yourself time to grieve. It's all right for you to cry. It's all right for you to take some time off work. It's all right for you to, if you really need to cry, cry it out. Give yourself some time to grieve and understand everything that is happening within the environment. So just give yourself some time to grieve. There's no point trying to forget it immediately. It's very difficult. If you've told yourself you're going to just give yourself a couple of weeks, some couple of months to grieve, cry it out and let it all out. Number 2 tip I would be sharing is to try as much as you can to get support from your partner and your loved one. So yourself and your partner, this affected the both of you. So you both need each other. So it's better to always get support from your partner and from your loved one. If you need a cuddle, get a cuddle from them. If you need to cry it out to them, you do. If you need someone to talk to, you should do that with your closed ones and talk about it. Just open up your heart to whoever it is that is close to you. If your partner is your best friend, if you've got a best friend you can always confide in, just cry it out and let it out. Let it all out. And while you're doing that, you're going to feel a little bit of relief. It's not going to go off completely, but you're definitely going to feel a little bit of relief when you're crying out, when you're sharing your experience and your emotions with your loved ones, trying to get a cuddle from them and all of that. It actually does help with getting a little bit of relief. Number 3 point I would be sharing is to seek support group. You can always join a support group. A support group is when you have a recommendation from either a doctor or a friend. There's always a group of where different people with similar experiences come together and they talk about it. It's very easy to relate with them because they all have similar situations. So when you hear what this one has been going through and what the next person is going through, you'll be able to put yourself in their shoes because you're almost in the same situation with them, and you would be able to share your own experiences and get advice from them as well. So it's very good to join a support group if that is going to help you. Number 4 tip I would be sharing is to seek spiritual advice. If you've got a pastor, you've got a priest, you always go for prayers or whatever it is. Sometimes it's just good to talk to these people. So when you let it out, you could feel a little bit of relief. So if you think seeking spiritual advice is going to be beneficial to you, Why not? Seek spiritual advice. Let them pray with you. Listen to worship songs. Whatever it is that is going to take your mind off the situation. It's very, very encouraging to do that. The number 5 tip is look after yourself. I know it's very difficult. I just came out of all of this. I don't feel like eating. I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to be on the bed. I just want to sleep all through. I don't just want to think about everything. I just want to cry. I know it's difficult, but you need to look after yourself. You need to eat. You need to drink. You need to try and exercise. If yoga helps you, you need to do that. Just try as much as you can to look after yourself and let your partner look after you as well. In fact, the both of you have to look after each other after things like this happen. You try as much as you can to get busy as well. Getting distracted is going to help a lot, because when you're distracted all through the day, you're very busy getting engaged with one or two activities, and then you won't have so much time to think about what has previously happened. It's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy. It's quite difficult to understand that. So try as much as you can to get distracted and try to deviate your mind from whatever present situation it is now, and try as much as you can as well to plan for the future. Planning for the future, it's actually a very positive way of getting your mind off the present situation. So try to get distracted, try to eat, try to drink, and try as much as you can to try and plan for the future so you get distracted. All of these tips I'm sharing, it's more ways of it's just more like getting distracted from what is presently happening in the background at the moment. So planning for the future and getting distracted is really going to help. Number 6 tip I will be sharing is focusing on the present. The deed has already been done. As I said earlier, it's not your fault. You tried all you could, but it still happened. So try to focus on what is present. And it's very difficult. What I'm about to say is really, really difficult. But you have to keep telling yourself, you have to keep telling your mind, we need to stop predicting the future. I know there'll be fear of what if it happens again. We need to take all of those negative thoughts off our mind for us to focus presently on what is happening, and we'll be able to plan the future. So prediction of negative thoughts should completely go off our mind, and we should think of what is happening presently in our environment and try to predict positively into the future other than predicting negatively into the future. So tell yourself this isn't going to happen again. Just be positive about it. There are so many positive declarations that could actually help. If you need to predict anything about the future, it just has to be positive, nothing negative. Just try and plan with what is presently happening and predict positively to the future. And the last but not the least, if you need to seek advice from a therapist, please, please, please feel free to do that. Don't wait until you get into crisis before you seek help. If you see that all of these coping mechanisms, all of these coping techniques are not helping, you need to seek help from a therapist, and you will find out at the end of the day that you're doing yourself loads of good. You're not just harming yourself, you're doing yourself good. So if you definitely need to speak with a therapist, please feel free to do that and give yourself time to heal. Personally, what I struggled with after I had a miscarriage was fear. Predicting the future, negative predictions, definitely. This hasn't happened before. Why did it happen? What if it happens again? What would I do? And then I would cry all day. I would refuse to eat. But one day I had to brace up. I had to encourage myself, definitely with the support of my husband. I had to encourage myself, and I started looking at the brighter side. If it was meant to stay, it would have stayed. It's definitely not meant to stay. That was why it left. So encouraging ourselves most times would go a long way in helping us. So lovelies, thank you so much for watching this video. And once again, I am so sorry for your loss. And I wish you all the best in life and wish you all the best in your fertility journey and hope we all share good news pretty soon. All the best. Thank you all so much. I love you all. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.